All right. Hopefully that fixed it. I got to do it every morning. We have a couple of mornings where it goes good, and then never know. Never know. I just do knock on wood. Knock on wood. So I hope everyone's Thursday is going good. Baby Friday. What is it? November 17th? November 17th on Crime Lines and Lies. It's a week away from Thanksgiving. I was chatting with you guys this morning. I saw a few people talking about grocery shopping. I've got one suggestion. Just stay away from Walmart. Walmart is one of the 7 layers of hell. There's other places to get your grub on. I do not do the Walmart. I've figured out how to survive without Walmart. I hate Walmart. I don't like crowds. I did get all our stuff. Of course, there's going to be things that I forgot. So there'll be some last minute items. You get into the middle of your dessert or whatever, and then you're like, oh, chocolate chip pie. And I don't have any damn chocolate chips. Shit. So, things like that will happen. But anyway, so let me see who I missed this morning. I was in here chatting. Hey, Ryan Christie, did you get your t-shirt? I saw it was delivered. Hello, Logan's mom. Logan's mom knows what's up. She said, I haven't been to Walmart in at least 2 to 3 years. Do you also put your tree up before Thanksgiving, Logan's mom? Because I think we're going to have a special club. People that have their tree up before Thanksgiving and people that don't go to Walmart. It might just be you and me, Logan. That's all right. Hello for the children. Hillbilly Tech. Chipper don't like Walmart. Gaelic Girl just doesn't like shopping. That's the thing. I like to eat. I love to eat. I wouldn't have been a good caveman or cavewoman, because I'm not the hunter or gatherer type. For me to go shopping, we have to have a holiday coming up, birthday, something like that. Have to have something I'm really looking for. Now, a friend of mine, she can just go shopping. And she'll say, do you want to go shopping? And I'll say, for what? Oh, just to shop. And I'm like, no, I'm good, girl. No, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, Mermaid. Mermaid says, I don't do Walmart. I'm just too tired and old to be a sex symbol. Well, even in my attire right now, I'd knock it out of the park, if you know what I mean. I think I would. Hello, Shani. Welcome back, Shani. Stephlyn09. Hello. I also heard a bunch of people in here, or saw a bunch of people talking about the weather. It's unusually cold for this type of year, depending, I guess, on where you live. Good morning, Savvy. Izzy Rose. Hello, CR. Yeah, I haven't checked the weather. I haven't checked the temperature. I know we're not getting any like freezing rain or anything. Like I said, this time last year it was in the mid 60s. The way I am with heat and cold, all right? So in Oklahoma, we get all 4 seasons sometimes in one day. But when it gets hot, and you know what I'm talking about if you're in this climate, if you can't tell, if you drive by the bank and you don't know if the numbers or are the time or the temperature, you just don't even really look at the weather anymore. You just know it's damn hot, right? You just know it's hot. It's just hot. And I'm that way with the cold too. Once it gets below, I'd say about 50 degrees, yes, I'm that person. I'm like, it's just cold. It's just cold. Don't bother me with this cold until anything icy or snowy is coming out of the air. I'm not going to get too upset about it. I will get upset about that, but not the cold part of it. So, Yesterday on the members tab, if you're a member, you saw it. I said, how are we doing with this update on Monkey? I know we've really hit it hard this week. Just want to make sure everybody's okay. I don't want any misunderstanding. That wasn't me saying I'm going to stop covering the case. That's not it at all. Just want to make sure everybody's okay, because we know that this is very, very disturbing, very dark, very grim. So later this afternoon, though, speaking of dark and grim, another crime in Idaho we're going to talk about is the 4 students that were murdered at the University of Idaho. So as I'm getting my notes together, I see some new names in here. Hit the sub button and make sure you get reminded. That's going to be about 1 o'clock today. Saw some stuff floating around, some comments. A few people said, it seems like everybody gave up on little Quentin. Nobody gave up on Quentin. You just have to see that the ebb and flow of the crime world is that that this is a very, very significant break in Monkey's case. Little Monkey's been missing since July of 2021. And it's a very bizarre break. It's extremely disturbing. He's basically he's a 1%. It's a 1%. Stranger abductions are next to never happen. Next to never happen. And the local news in Savannah, Georgia, they did not stop reporting on Quentin. They're just not giving updates as much, probably because law enforcement isn't giving them updates. But no, absolutely, we're still covering the Quentin case. And the news in Savannah, Georgia didn't back off because of news in Idaho. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way at all. Also, a lot of you have reached out and said, they're like, where'd all the videos go? I think I might actually have like 2 actual videos on my channel. Like actual uploads. Everything that we do here is live. Hence why there's so many mistakes. And you hear me say, oh, hang on, let me say that again. So YouTube is always messing in my Kool-Aid. They need to fix what's broken, not mess around with what's not broken. So you'll see home videos, which I said, like, I don't think there's even any there. Then it says live. That's where all the past shows are. They need to leave everything alone. Insanely Confused messaged me the other day and she said, I'm blocked. And I said, no, not even Dawn Wells is blocked. You certainly couldn't be blocked. And I went, and just for sometimes mistakes happen. I went and I looked. No, Insanely Confused is not blocked. So they are screwing up anything they can get a hold of. Anything they can get a hold of. So yesterday we were talking about how the article came out on Monday from the Idaho Statesman that had a few excerpts in it from the arrest affidavit, probable cause, and a lot of people were upset about it. And that's okay. The probable cause was made public Monday when the charges were filed. And then as we watched the arraignment yesterday together of Sarah, and they asked for the documents to be sealed. I can't really remember the reasoning. I kind of tuned that out. And the judge said, yeah, we'll seal that. Okay, well, it was already out. Not only Idaho Statesman, I believe East Idaho News, NBC, the big guys, not the local affiliates. People Magazine, boy, that's something else right there, that article. A Anyway, so going forward, and those articles are still available. They're still out. They have not been retracted, which interesting the way it was described. If you retract something in the real journalism world, if you retract something, you're basically saying that it was incorrect or it's untrue. So they very rarely do that. So like I said, going forward, if it's easily Googled, I don't mean rumors on YouTube, I don't mean rumors on Facebook, but if it's out and about, it's fair game. We're going to talk about it. Not just this case, any case. I feel bad because at the beginning of the week, some people did some stuff they maybe shouldn't have done. I don't even know anything all about that, but there was a lot of pandemonium, and I think all of that is ironed out. Ironed out. I do know that there's one reporter in particular with the Idaho Statesman, and she's getting some, maybe not today, maybe it calmed down, because the judge there was a tweet that came out, not from the judge himself, but a reporter, saying that because of the confusion, the case is open, but one particular document, the criminal complaint, is it is sealed. So it's like no more confusion. So going forward, seems like they got it all straight. But she seemed to be, this reporter, she seemed to be her inbox was bothered, if you know what I mean. And I hate that because we already have too many weak ass journalists. We do. Look at Hawkins County. The sheriff, Ronnie Lawson, now this is in the Summer Wells case, if you follow that case. Ronnie Lawson, his son, is in jail. For SA. The local reporter, WJHL, they basically gave that huge news 28 seconds on their show. Rogersville Review won't touch it at all. So when we have people in the media that are willing to tell the truth, because we want the truth, we don't want a network narrative. And also, this woman has a boss. Everyone has a boss. Well, she has a boss that said, leave it up, print it, run with it. It wasn't leaked. It was made public, and they made a decision at the arraignment to seal it. Then the judge said, with all this confusion, here we go. So what we do know is as of Monday, as of Tuesday, as of Wednesday, and as of 9:16 a.m. Central Time, neither the judge, the prosecution, or the defense reached out to any of those news publications and said, take it down. So people will argue and say, well, it's because the damage has already been done. It's already ruined the case. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. And the damage hasn't been done, if there was even any damage, because 2 to 3 years is a long ways away. Chicky Poo, Sarah, she's not going to see a jury till like 2 or 3 years. It's not like this is going to get all sealed up anytime soon. People forget if they haven't already. And in the meantime, much, much, much more is going to come out that's going to be a lot more shocking than her saying God told her something. That is the tip of the iceberg. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I don't think that she was trying to make any big splash. I really don't. From what I'm gathering, she's a responsible journalist. You know, those ones, like almost like the tabloid people. Well, just like on YouTube, you know, the people, whether it's true or false, they just want to get your attention. And so they're the kid that when everyone's having a barbecue makes the big splash. And they think it's funny and everybody's wet and they get out of the pool, but they see everybody's pissed off. The coals are out on the fire. The buns are wet. Well, according to the judge, the prosecutor, and the defense, the buns aren't wet because they didn't tell anyone to take anything down. They didn't. At all. Hang on. Mama B. By the way, the link is pinned if anybody wants to come up. Mama B said, and most people don't read or watch the news, and even less people watch YouTube. Right. We're in a very exclusive club here, guys. We really are. We follow these cases. A lot of these people that are going to wind up going to being on the jury, assuming that it gets moved out of Fruitland, I don't know, because Fruitland's a town of 6,000 people. I don't know. They may not. In Fruitland, I would think they would follow the case for sure. Let's just say, for some reason, let's just say this happened in Boise, much bigger community. They may not have been following this, or they may have heard about it in July of 2021. So like right now, they might, like right now on their news, they'd say, oh, looks like they might have found him. Then they go about their day. Then here comes the trial in a couple of years. That's kind of how most people rock and roll. They're not like us. They can't sit with us, if you know what I mean. I know in one of the shows for Summer Wells, there was a lady that kept saying, well, the whole world knows about Summer Wells. She didn't just say it once. She just kept saying it. And I didn't know a nice way to tell her without sounding like I was insulting little Summer. If I go to my local grocery store right now and I'm making chit chat with someone and said, I really wish they would get off their ass in Hawkins County and do something about Summer Wells. They'd go, where is Hawkins County? There's no Hawkins County around here. And who's Summer? They wouldn't know. They don't follow true crime like we do. They don't follow it. I'd have to start from the beginning, and 5 hours later, they'd be walking out hating on Don and Candace and Grandis. Sad but true. And then there are cases that you can just say the name. They may not know everything about it, but they're familiar enough that they'll be like, oh yeah. If you say Casey Anthony, they know exactly who that ratchet woman is. Oddly enough, if you say Kaylee Anthony, it doesn't really ring a bell because Casey Anthony is who they remember. You say John Benet Ramsey, they know who you're talking about. Of course, O.J. Simpson. But some of these cases, no. We're the cool kids. So as far as saying, well, the damage has already been done, no. People do not follow these cases. They just don't. All right, I got some comments to do, and then we're going to get caught up on what developed yesterday in the search for Michael Vaughn. All right, first off, thank you so much, Pat. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. Our little channel has grown a lot. It has. And that's because of you guys. Because you guys want to talk about the cases, the facts, sort it out. And we couldn't be more blessed to find like-minded people that want to sit with us, right? You guys are beyond awesome. All right, now I'm not going to use the YouTube name because I didn't ask her if I could use her comment. And it didn't really occur to me when I showcase after show comments, some people are like, ooh, don't say my name. Some of you already know. Some of you I've already used your comments, so you don't care. So I'm going to try to be more mindful of that. So if you recognize your after show comment, not the comments that I put up from the live chat, if you recognize your comment that you left on the replay, send me an email and you'll find out why. I love you too, Stacy. Thank you. All right. Yesterday, we spoke about an after show comment where a woman said, I hope that Michael's death stands for something and parents start watching their children. Well, a lot of people saw the comment. And they asked me, are you going to take it down? I said, no. No. We'll address it. We'll talk about it on the after show. The next show. Thank you, Lana. Lana, your avatar is gorgeous. Feel like I'm in a chat with supermodels. So I said, no. Just leave it. Just leave it. And I'll address it on the next show. Terrence, what are you talking about? White people don't watch their children. Don't race bait in here. So we talked about it yesterday, and I said, I told my story, and I've got many. I talked about one of my sons fell out of a tree like right in front of me. Had to go to the hospital, get stitches. I talked about bike wrecks, a lot of stuff that happened right in front of me. Myself personally, I said, once you have more than one child, let's face it, you're already busy enough with one. Once you have another child, your time is immediately divided. It goes without saying. That means you're neglecting one child if you're only keeping eyes on another one. You've only got one set of eyes. Anyway, a lot of you reached out yesterday. A lot of you reached out with your own stories of things that have happened and said, I'm so glad that you said that, because in other areas, of Al Gore's internet, people are acting like they seriously have eyes on their child 24/7. We know that's not possible. We know that is not possible. Some of your stories seriously, made me cry. Really, they were just very tearful, heartfelt stories. Some of them made me just die laughing, because like we said yesterday, you're trying to make dividing your attention look like endangerment and neglect. It doesn't work that way. The new baby needs to be fed a bottle. The new baby has to have a diaper. The new baby has to be put in a high chair and spoon-fed. So we can figure all that out. I'm not saying that's what was going on. I'm just using an example. And at some point, you have got to go to the bathroom and shut the door. I don't need to explain this. You all know. Anyway, Terrence got blocked. Terrence is crazy. And I hate doing that. I just think that looks so bad. We just have conversations in here. If we can't agree, we don't sit there and erupt into an argument. Everyone here is cool. The mods aren't here to play Hunger Games and just start blocking, timing out. I can't stand that. All right, so a comment left. I gotta refresh the chat. I actually slowed the chat down today. She said, I think there's more than one person involved. I do too. Some people believe Sarah has done this all on her own. She said, as for Tyler, I feel for him. He will carry some guilt forever, but as you say, it takes just seconds for anything to happen when you have had to take your eyes off your children. And at some point, you do have to. At some point, you do have to. I don't care what these people say. You do. Hang on, I got to clean my glasses. They're all smudged. My optometrist is the rackety section of the Dollar Tree full of readers. I probably need to go see him again, if you know what I mean. All right, so she says, as for Tyler, I feel for him. He will carry some guilt forever. She said, but as you say, it takes just seconds for anything to happen. When you have to take your eyes off kids. My youngest son was in the front garden playing or watching his big brother and friends playing football across the road. I was with him, but slipped back into the house to pop something in the oven. I hadn't even reached the kitchen when I heard a loud bang. Went running back to the garden, and my son had gotten out of the gate, ran across the road, and was hit by a car. Okay, this is not funny. This is not a funny one. Thank the Lord, the car was going slow because of the kids playing. And after a short visit to the hospital, my son was back home. He's 30 now, but he was about 4 years old then. So we're only human. I hope they are left alone to grieve. And that's true. But he's 30 years old and he's alive and well. On the screen, Amanda said, imagine the old days when 8 to 12 kids was normal. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. All right, Saffron. She said, Sarah, she's definitely sane. Now, this is interesting. I don't know if she meant to phrase it this way, but I'm going to run with it like she did. She said she knew her Friday night was going to be disruptive. She knows everything. This is a different take on this. She knows everything, and no one can convince me differently. I'm not trying to, Saffron. I'm showcasing your comment. Like you said, we all have sin, but there are more good people in the world, I believe, than the bad. I do too. Us here are good. Sarah is not one of us. Neither is Stacy. So I'm going to go back to this. She knew her Friday night was going to be disruptive. I think she knew something was coming up too. I'm sure she was taken aback a little bit when they forced entry into the house. And she had to get her ass off the couch. But she instantly had a story, didn't she? God talked to me. Stacy did it. No, Stacy didn't. It was another guy. All right, on the screen, Tilly said, what is probably cause? That is just a play on words because some people are really upset about the probable cause, a couple of parts of it being leaked out. What I'm saying is it's probably because the judge doesn't care. The defense doesn't care. The prosecution doesn't care because they have not reached out to any of these news networks to say, take it down. It's probably because they don't care. It's just a play on words. So thank you for that, Saffron. And then I go back to what the prosecuting attorney said. He said she does not follow social norms. Is that how he said it? Societal norms, rules of society. She can't be out in society. She can't be around us. She can't be around us. She can't be around us. She doesn't follow the rules of society. I'm going to listen to it real quick.
Initially disappeared. I think it shows that she's a danger to the community, and she fails to abide by the social norms that we all expect. And there are obviously very serious implications in her being aware of his whereabouts this whole time. So the state's asking for Miss Maloney initially disappeared. I think it shows that she's a danger to the community, and she fails to abide by the social norms that we all expect. And there are obviously very serious implications in her being aware of his whereabouts this whole time. So the state's asking for a $1 million bond. Miss Maloney.
Social norms. She doesn't abide by social norms. She doesn't. She doesn't abide by social norms. And yes, the prosecuting attorney asked for $1 million. The judge, he read some law. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not even going to look it up. So whatever he quoted, then he said $500,000. She's not going to get out. Hang on one second. So he said she doesn't abide by social norms, rules of society. Well, this is her charge. Death, fail to notify or delay notification. That would be a social norm, correct? Correct? If you know someone is deceased, you let the authorities know. You let the authorities know. You don't just start posting stuff all over Facebook about Jesus. And the only reason she went, when people turn to Christ, that's a wonderful thing. But when they overcompensate, it's because of something very, very, very bad they did. Some of the biggest Jesus freaks you're ever going to meet are sitting in the pokey right now. They're overcompensating for the evil that they've done. All right, here's another comment. You're going too far calling them disgusting. Who do you think you are? Okay, look. Going forward, like I said earlier about things that are put out in the news, here's another one. Going forward, even if it turns out Cindy Crawford is responsible for this, I'm going to call Cindy Crawford disgusting. I'm going to be like, Cindy Crawford, you thought you were so cute with that mole on your cheek. You're disgusting. I'll tear her up. Yes, this is disgusting. This is disgusting. They are excavating. They are peeling back layers of soil in a yard. In a yard, looking for little monkey. That is disgusting. That is disgusting. Anita came in and she said, yeah, Brooke, innocent until proven guilty. That is just people talking, saying that she knows something about it. There is no proof. They haven't even found anything. So yeah, you're judging her before she even goes to court. No, I'm not. She went to court. She went to court. We watched the arraignment yesterday. She said her name is Stacy. That's her husband's name. Then she was a smartass to the judge when he said, are you working now? And Miss, I'm trying to play mentally incompetent, scoffs back like she's the cast of Mean Girls and goes, stupid judge. Stupid judge. Obviously not, because I'm in jail. Obviously not, because I'm in jail. So no, I'm not judging her. I watched the arraignment. And again, here's the charges. That's what she has been charged with. Death, failure to notify or delay notification of death. I do not know what happened to little Michael in July of 2021. I have no idea. But I do know that she knows because she's sitting in jail and there is a probable cause to put her there. And they are currently, slowly but surely, going through the backyard. They are. They are. She knows. She knows. Because if she didn't, and she had no idea what was going on, she wouldn't have been so cool, calm, and collected in the arraignment, she damn sure would have known her name. She wouldn't have had any smart aleck remarks for the judge or anything like that. She would have been a little more descriptive sitting there if she has nothing to do with this. And she obviously admitted to knowing. She was pointing to them. Could be by the shed, could be at the neighbors. Well, God told me. Well, no, Stacy told me. Well, no, Stacy didn't do it. She's disgusting. She's disgusting. She is. She's absolutely disgusting. All right, I got a couple pictures I'm going to go through and then get to an off-topic clip. Then we're going to get on topic. Hang on. If you look at the screen, one of you sent this to me via text message this morning when I still had sleep in my eyes. Look at the screen. What's between her fingers? It's not dirt. It's not dirt. I can't tell. I was like, are those tattoos? Did she get tattoos between her fingers? And this is from her Facebook. This hasn't been Photoshopped. Nobody dressed this up. You can go look at the picture yourself. Her Facebook is very public. What in the hell is between her fingers? I said, are they tattoos? Are they stickers? What is that crud? Mama Kay, you're right. For those who say not to judge, you didn't read the whole chapter. Does anybody know? Oh, Pat K. SRB said, why does it look like hair? Does it look like hair? It almost looks like something that's trying to heal. Lala said it's crud. Someone said warts. Where Summer said looks like scars, but between every hand, I don't know. Burns. Chipper said looks like burns. Yeah, between her fingers. Hell, I don't know, but it's got my mind going all over the place. Leopard Joy said toe jam of the hand. Psoriasis? I don't know what it is. At first, I thought she had some sort of like stickers between each finger. Some people said it could be from cigarettes. Okay. Oh, no-stick potes. Ooh. I don't know if I can say that out loud. Julie says eczema. All right, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Also, this was sent to me this morning. It's kind of nice when something that has been rumored is actually true. There is Chris McDonough standing outside with the crews where they are excavating, looking for Little Monkey. So I imagine that the Cold Case Foundation is involved, possibly. Of course, he's been a big advocate of Brandy and Tyler's for quite a long time. I don't know when. I'd have to go look. When Brandy was on his show. I don't know if it was after Christmas of last year. Does anybody remember when Brandy was on the interview room? Was it like January or February? She's been on a couple of times. I'm talking about the first time. Doesn't really matter, but anyway. So he is retired law enforcement. He's not just a YouTuber. Okay, it was after Christmas. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. So very good having some extra support. So a little off topic, but not really. Because in every one of these cases, not just this one, it's always brought up. It's always brought up. Is there the death penalty. It's usually on the books. It's on the books, I believe, in every state. But do they use it? Do they use it? Idaho does. Idaho does. This is on their local news right now. Hang on.
Some other news for you now. New tonight, the Idaho Department of Correction has served a death warrant to 66-year-old Gerald Pizzuto. Pizzuto is currently on Idaho's death row, convicted of murdering 2 gold prospectors near McCall with a hammer in 1985. The warrant sets Pizzuto's execution by lethal injection for December 15th, just nearly 1 month away. However, the Idaho Department of Correction says they do not have the chemicals needed to carry out an execution by lethal injection. They say they're working to get them. Pizzuto has spent more than 3 decades on death row. He was originally scheduled to be put to death in June of 2021, but that was put on hold because he asked for clemency. Pizzuto has terminal cancer. The Idaho Commission of Pardons and Parole recommends his sentence be changed to life in prison, but after a several-month legal battle, that was denied, and that death warrant issued.
Well, that answers our question. Not only is it on the books, because I don't live there, so I don't know. That just happened to pop up today. And I'm like, well, I'm going to play that because it is active. It is active and it is used. I know it is in Oklahoma. I don't know about other states because that's going on right now. Now, hang on, Tracy. I'm going through the chat on my phone right now. Tracy said, I didn't say anything wrong. Why am I being deleted? You're not. I'm looking through here. Nothing was deleted. And sometimes stuff people hit the wrong button. It says, why is there a red mark by my little capital T? I don't see a red mark. The red mark is live. That's for YouTube. That's on StreamYard. No, we didn't. Nobody deleted anything. We can see you. Nothing was deleted. Shanny's from Idaho. That's another thing. I love when locals come into chat or one of the Facebook groups or the Facebook group, the Crime Lines and Lies Facebook group, and talk about these cases because, I mean, you know the area. It's, your state, your community. I might have been through Idaho. Doesn't mean I know that much about it. Doesn't mean I know that much about it. So that's just a little interesting, very interesting, that's going on in the state. Okay, Tracy says 9:42 a.m. under Jessica. Well, I would have to scroll up through 4 minutes of chat, Tracy. Let's just say it was an accident. You haven't done anything wrong. You're good. I promise. I promise. It's like next to impossible to get thrown out of here, to get blocked. Accidents do happen. One time, Pat had her phone in her pocket during a show for Herman Montgomery and was timing out everybody. I think everybody but me got timed out. All right, so now I'm going to play a video because we've been talking a lot too about the first search, the initial search. There's been many searches, but you know what I mean. The initial. That was in July of 2021. I had some questions about when did the drones and the helicopters stop? Because, of course, we have a lot of questions about freshly overturned dirt. If they're up in the air, they would see that. And that's one of the things that they're looking for, besides the missing person. So let's look at this. I think this one might talk about when the air search stopped. If not, I'll find it. Hang on.
This afternoon, the search for a missing 5-year-old boy that began late last night enters its second day. Michael Vaughn was last seen near Southwest 9th Street and South Arizona Avenue in Fruitland. He was last seen around 6:30 yesterday. Here's the information you need to know. Michael is about 3.5 feet tall and weighs 50 pounds. He was last seen wearing a light blue shirt with a Minecraft picture on it. He was wearing dark blue boxer briefs and sandals. Our Shira Matsuzawa is live now in Fruitland with a look at these search efforts. Shira, what's the latest?
Kim, it was 24 hours ago, almost 24 hours ago, when Michael Vaughn, 5-year-old Michael Vaughn, went missing from this neighborhood behind me. But just feet away, this field is just one area where crews spent most of the day searching for that little boy. From the air and on the ground, crews from multiple agencies went door to door, talking to neighbors, searching yards and nearby fields, all in hopes of finding 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughn. Neighbors say they learned about the 5-year-old's disappearance around 7:30.
Okay, so we definitely see the helicopters. Hang on, let me put it back a little bit. Or hear them. There it is on the screen. So some people are saying that there wasn't an air search, wasn't an extensive air search. Well, there was. There was. So maybe odds are they hadn't done any digging yet, if you know what I mean. That could be very, very probable.
From the air and on the ground, crews from multiple agencies went door to door, talking to neighbors, searching yards and nearby fields, all in hopes of finding 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughn. Neighbors say they learned about the 5-year-old's disappearance around 7:30 on Tuesday night. They say Michael was a happy kid who lived in this neighborhood with his parents and grandfather. Cynthia Walker lives in the neighborhood and was walking her dog as the search was happening.
At 5 years old, I don't know that he would wander too far without one of us seeing him by now. There are volunteers, many volunteers out searching, scanning the fields, and we just want to have Michael back. We want him home safe.
Fruitland police didn't want to go on camera, but in a statement says Michael is considered missing and endangered. He was last seen wearing a blue Minecraft shirt like this one and dark blue briefs. After searching with the help of a canine, a drone, and helicopter, still no sign of the little boy.
We're just praying for the family, praying for Michael.
And earlier today, a local church group and its members were out here trying to find Michael. And they also said they started a prayer group in hopes of finding him. His aunt was also out here. She didn't want to go on camera, but she tells us she's grateful for the support. Kim?
Well, let's hope we find him soon. Shira, though, any details about the circumstances of his disappearance? 6:30 is right around dinner time typically for families. Was he last seen with his parents? Any details like that? Have they been released?
Not officially, no. We are hearing things from different neighbors, but officially, we're still waiting for more information from police. And they said once they have an update, they will notify us. And once we find out, we'll be sure to pass it along to the public as well.
And all the information, Fruitland Police, that they're giving us at this time is just this press release, right? They've not been talking to us on camera?
Correct, yes. There are no on-camera interviews, just this press release.
Okay, well, hopefully they'll talk with us soon so we can pass along perhaps any additional information they may have. Shira, thank you. Again, take a good look. This is a picture of Michael. He's the little boy missing. And police say he also responds to the nickname of Monkey. If you've seen him or you know anything about his whereabouts, please contact Payette County Sheriff's Office. The number's on your screen. It's 208-642-6000.
Well, tonight, concern and confusion.
Okay, so they're showing they had a very extensive search. They went door to door. They were checking yards. They're just 4 minutes away. Stacy and Sarah's house is just 4 minutes away. So I don't want to get too far out in the realm of speculation, but it's all we've got right now. Where was Monkey? I don't see any of their Facebook posts. They're big Facebook posters. They're big, big, big. They love to, they love to tell they love to tell everyone how the taxi business is going, how the laundry business is going. They love to talk. They had a lube business. They did. LUBE. Talk about Jesus and how Jesus is coming to get us. I wish he would. They have all kinds of stuff like that. But they don't have really much as far as what was going on after Monkey disappeared. As we've said on the show, the day before, she said, Stacy posted that Sarah was in the ER. On the 27th, they just posted a video. Some people say it's outside of Payette County. And some people say it's actually in Adrian, Oregon. She also said Adrian could be responsible. But there's an Adrian, Oregon. The day after Monkey disappeared, the husband, Stacy, Stacy is the husband, Sarah's the wife, shared his article, Fruitland Boy, missing since Tuesday night. Then on the 29th, they posted a TikTok where he's talking about exfoliating.
This thing is infoliated.
There is now, because I just made that shit up.
Babe, what did you say?
I feel exfoliated.
Exfoliating is exfoliating your skin.
Oh, well, I feel infoliated then.
There's no such thing as infoliated.
There is now, because I just made that shit up.
Okay, so that's on the 29th. Then on August 1st, Stacy changes his profile picture on Facebook to Michael's. Then the next day, Sarah shares a flyer, and this isn't even the official flyer, but anyway, missing Michael Vaughn. She says, boy missing from around my neighborhood. Please help find him. That's on the 2nd. So all of this sharing and everything going on and exfoliating, whatever the hell he's talking about, they have a very active search going on. It reminds me of Delphi, in plain sight. This would not be the police's fault or anything like that. It's just how arrogant they are. How arrogant they are. And the comments are correct that I got after the show yesterday. Hang on, I got to turn my heat down. Geez, I don't know what I had the heat cranked up to. I've got meat falling off the bone. Goodness. Thought I was going to pass out. What was I saying? I said something about them being so arrogant, in plain sight. Somebody remind me, what was I talking about before I about had a stroke? Amanda says they feel powerful like Almighty God or something. Yeah. It's almost like this was a game to them or something. Oh, no. So thank you, Snow. Thank you. Thank you, Mama Kay. So, yeah, the comments yesterday were correct. She hasn't been charged with anything related directly to his death. I understand that. I understand that. Still, he is presumed to be buried or at one time buried in her backyard where they are excavating, where they are pulling back layer after layer after layer of soil. She lived in that home. She lived in that home. What would the assumption be? It's okay to have a conversation. It's okay to speculate and say, well, who would not report this? It says on the screen, death, failed to notify or delay notification of death. Why would you not notify anyone? Why would you not notify anyone, particularly when you know his mama and daddy are 4 minutes from you looking for their little boy? Why would you keep that to yourself? I don't know. Maybe because you're involved. Maybe because you're involved. I mean, this is how close we're talking right here. You see on the screen. You see on the right, Vaughn family home. You see a red dot. Home police are searching. You see another red dot. They've got to be involved. Somebody said something. Somebody said something for sure, right? Because they said someone inside the home gave this tip. Someone inside the home gave this tip. It wasn't her. It wasn't her. She might have known something was going to be happening, and I kind of think she did. Stacy's in jail. He's not inside the house. He's in the big house. He's in the big house. Someone else. Then something was said about the probable cause, and it was kind of mumbled when I was listening to the arraignment. Other names could be listed in it. Maybe I dreamt that. I hope not. Anyway, that other names, they don't want these other names out. Well, I can imagine why. Because people are going to reach out to him, want to talk to him. They don't want those names out. Someone gave a credible tip, and that someone could be in that probable cause. Some people have said, no, they tapped their phones. I do not know where this stuff comes from. I don't know where this stuff comes from. They tapped their phones and listened to her and Stacy talking about their crimes. They don't need to tap their phones because Stacy's in jail. Stacy's in jail. All of his phone calls are already recorded. So I don't think it's that. And also, if someone says, I have information that I can't verify, it's just called a rumor. It's just called a rumor. And a lot of times when you're in and you guys all know this, I'm not telling you anything new. We're just talking here. In these Facebook groups, well, Reddit doesn't matter because nobody knows who anybody is. But anyway, when someone says, oh, well, I heard a rumor, I just want to see what you guys think. No, they're just running something past everybody because they think it could be possible and they just don't want to get their asses handed to them for saying something stupid. That's where a lot of these rumors come from. That's where a lot of these rumors come from. Nobody heard it from anybody. Someone says, well, I think I heard somewhere. What do you think? It's like, just throw out a theory. Just throw out a theory. It's okay. All right, so the most recent news clip I have that I've had, unless something came out in the next hour, I'm going to put that up. Hang on.
Crews continue search efforts in the backyard of a Fruitland home, searching for the remains of missing Fruitland boy Michael Vaughn. Investigators have not yet shared information on what they've found, but we know now that crews could be there for the rest of the week. Police say a credible tip from someone who lives at the home led them to search the property, which is only a half mile from the Vaughn family's home.
Okay, the way they word it, I'm not going to ignore. Someone who lives in the home. Stacy's in jail. Carrie said the court paper said Stacy told police he was buried there. Well, I've never seen the actual document. I don't want to see it. If it's supposed to be sealed, I mean, tomorrow they might open everything up. I don't know. As far as I know, the case is searchable on Idaho courts, but the criminal complaint is not. I could have that backward. Correct me, please. So it says the court paper said. Now, I read in the article from Idaho Statesman, that they did talk to Stacy, but this is someone who currently lives. They don't live there now, but at the time was living there. But I don't know. I wondered that myself, Carrie. I was like, because Stacy would have lived inside the home until he went to jail. I don't know. Have you seen the document, Carrie? I don't want it. I'm just wondering if you've seen it. Because all the articles say that they did talk to Stacy, and it says it's Stacy's in quotes.
Nicole Camarda has been on scene all day and has the latest.
Excavation continues at this home behind me, where police are searching for what they believe could be the remains of missing Fruitland boy Michael Vaughn. Now, police have not confirmed whether any remains have been found, but they say that there is a high probability that they are on this property. Earlier Tuesday afternoon, Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff told us that this case is moving slowly in order for police to be accurate. He says there are a lot of moving parts to their investigation, and because this is a case he says will affect everyone, he wants to do it right. Now, for the last few days, crews have been using large, heavy machinery, pulling dirt from the backyard and sending it off. And now they're using smaller equipment. And Huff says that is in order for them to be more precise as they continue moving forward. The backyard has not been fully processed yet, but soon after, crews will then start to process inside the home. Huff said,
okay, so this was put out last night. So to answer your question, Rowena's in here using her husband's phone. This was last night, published last night. They're not done processing the yard. This could take the rest of the week. This could go into next week, guys. Thanksgiving's a week from today. Imagine this poor family, 2 Thanksgivings in a row without their son. They said today, let me listen to it again. I don't want to misquote.
they are using smaller equipment, and Huff says that is in order for them to be more precise as they continue moving forward. The backyard has not been fully processed yet, but soon after, crews will then start to process inside the home.
Okay, so to answer the question we've been asking, are they going to go inside the house? They just said right there, once they're done processing the yard, don't be surprised if it comes Friday at 5 and they're like, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back Sunday. We'll be back Monday. I don't think there's any timeline for this, but they said when they are done processing the yard, which is a really scary term they're using, when we're done processing the yard, then they're going to go into the house. Now, I don't want to be grim. I don't know another way around this. If you followed with us and still following the case of little Harmony Montgomery, we were all on pins and needles back in the summertime because they were going through a residence that her father, I use that term loosely, and stepmother lived in at one time on Union Street. This is in Manchester, New Hampshire. They took out a refrigerator. They took up boards in the floor. They took, what all did they take out, just me? They took a ton of stuff out of, parts of the wall. When they say processed the house, They might as well have just bulldozed it. But anyhow, and nothing. No harmony. No harmony. And we're like, well, that was a bust. Poor Harmony. Well, a couple months later, they said this is no longer a missing persons investigation. This is now a homicide investigation. They said, we now have bioevidence, they said, that Harmony Montgomery is deceased. All right, not long after that, a month or so, because we just talked about it a couple weeks ago, and we got to talk about Harmony again because I'm really upset about what's going on with step meth. Anyway, they had enough. They charged her father with murder. So if, I don't really know how they do things in Idaho, if for some reason they get done with all the processing, that does not mean all hope is lost. There can still be closure for this family. Not the closure we want. Not the closure we want by any means. But you get my drift.
Says crews could be out here for the rest of the week. It's unclear how long exactly this will take. Now, the Vaughn family has no connection to anyone that has lived inside the home that is currently being searched, but they do live just a few minutes away, and their street is completely blocked off. And police say that is to protect them during this investigation. Since Michael has gone missing, the entire town of Fruitland still has signs posted looking for Michael, and the community wants answers. It's unclear just how long this investigation will take or when we could be receiving any sort of updates, but as the chief said, the main goal is for Michael to be found and for this case to be accurate. In Fruitland, Nicole Camarda, Idaho News 6.
And I'm so glad that she put that quote in there. They're not, even though it sounds like it, or we want them to be. Thank you, Candy. Exactly. They're not in a hurry. They said they want this to be accurate. I know a lot of people, we talk about Stacy. Okay, my question about Stacy, because people say Stacy is the one that turned her in. But why would there be a need to protect Stacy's name in that probable cause? He's in jail. No one can get to Stacy. No one's going to go to the jail and visit with Stacy. Stacy doesn't need protection. Stacy doesn't deserve protection. Oh, Carrie, you're talking about from the article from the Idaho Statesman. I'll put that up in a second. We'll read through that part again. But they're not in, and a lot of people say, well, it must be just Sarah because they haven't arrested Stacy. Stacy's in jail, but it's not with anything related to Monkey. Well, they don't have to be in a hurry. They don't have to do anything with him. He's not going anywhere. He's just sitting on the back burner. They have to find Monkey. That's what they're working on now. Then they will eventually charge who they need to charge. But right now, the two people who lived in the house are in jail. There's no hurry to charge them. There's none. There's no hurry to start that clock. If you guys followed a few weeks ago, I was talking about the murders in Okmulgee, Oklahoma. 4 men were missing. They were found dismembered, terrible, in the river. Well, they finally extradited the man who's suspected of being involved or doing it. He's in jail. They haven't charged him with murder. They haven't charged him with anything. He's in jail for something else. So they've got him sitting there. They don't have to hurry. They're in no hurry. None. None. Mama Kay, can't they test the soil for human remains, or does that get into this? They are testing the soil. They are testing the soil.
A woman who lives at the home where the search is taking place was taken into custody Friday night before excavation efforts started. Sarah Wandra was arraigned in Payette County Court Monday, accused of failing to report Michael Vaughn's death. She's being held at a $500,000 bond. A judge has ordered she undergo a mental health evaluation, and although online court records were removed Tuesday, courthouse officials confirmed to us Wandra is still in custody as discussions continue to seal information in the case. We talked with attorney David Leroy, who says this is a complicated charge that can really only be filed with evidence or significant probable cause.
Made very significant that if this probable cause charge was alleged upon geographically specific evidence that a death would be found at a particular location, unless and until a body at that location is found, an allegation of probable cause based on that would be subject to second guessing or perhaps even dismissal.
Okay, that was really important. I'm glad they got that guy to weigh in. Because a lot of people are talking about this charge, and he explains this is a really complicated charge. This is a charge that's really hard to put on people. It won't stick. So they have to have something pretty concrete to charge her for not reporting he is deceased. I would love to know what it is. We will in time. I'm going to listen to that again.
We talked with attorney David Leroy, who says this is a complicated charge that can really only be filed with evidence or significant probable cause.
Made very significant that if this probable cause charge was alleged upon geographically specific evidence that a death would be found at a particular location, unless and until a body at that location is found, an allegation of probable cause based on that would be subject to second guessing or perhaps even dismissal.
Wandra is currently set to appear again in court next week, but that could change depending on what comes of her competency evaluation. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
All right, I'm just glad that guy weighed in, because that kind of helps a little bit with people saying, but, well, there's a lot of how do they know, how do they know, how do they know? And he's saying there has to be a definite, it can't just be hearsay. And what was it that the chief said? This isn't based on just one statement. We have good reason to believe. Okay, Carrie brought up, hang on. I want to read again how it's worded. I don't have the document. This is just from the Idaho Statesman. I'm waiting for it to load. Hang on. This is where it talks about how God told her. I want to get to the part about Stacy because they have it in quotes. Okay, when asked later to show police where the boy was buried, according to the affidavit, she told police of a spot near the entry of her residence and said Stacy had buried him in the backyard by the shed. I'm reading this from an article. So Sarah said Stacy. Police said by that point, they had begun hand digging. So where she pointed, they started digging. They had begun hand digging a portion of the Wanderer's yard based on information received from Stacy. Okay, now I'm reading it a different way. It's in quotes like that. I'm going to put it on the screen because received from Stacy in quotes because it's third-hand information. She's saying Stacy. Let me put it up again. All of this is so damn confusing. All right. When asked later to show police where the boy was buried, according to the affidavit, she told police, that's Sarah, of a spot near the entry of her residence and said Stacy had buried him in the backyard by the shed. Police said by that point they had begun hand digging a portion of the yard based on information received from Stacy. So the article, the way she interpreted the document, was received from Stacy in quotes. They don't believe this information came from Stacy, who had not been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon, which is Sarah they're talking about. It wasn't clear when or why police had spoken with Stacy Wondra. This is a very, very confusing paragraph. I was hung up with this paragraph on Monday. Don Wells, this has nothing to do with you. This has nothing to do with your case. This has to do with little Michael Vaughn. Okay, I just don't understand why the reporter put received from Stacy. Unless they're putting it in quotes, they don't believe this came from Stacy. They don't believe this came from Stacy, that they are just putting it in quotes because she is giving information that she said she got from Stacy. But it says who has not been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon. It wasn't clear when or why police had spoken to Stacy Wondra. Well, I can tell you why they spoke to him. Because they have to find out. Because they have to find out if what she said is true. If she'd spoken to Stacy. All of their phone calls are recorded. Carrie, hang on. Sarah lied. Yeah, at the arraignment. Sarah lied and said her name was Stacy, just like she did during court. Oh, you're reading this totally different, Carrie. So, Carrie, you're saying when they came to the house, she tried to pass herself off as Stacy? Is that what you're saying? Of course, the document, when it's available, would be very helpful. May be very helpful because we can probably put it in context. I'm going to make myself dizzy reading this. I think Dawn got timed out. I even just said this morning. I said, even Dawn Wells isn't blocked. So when Insanely Confused said she was blocked, I'm like, no, you're not. You can't possibly be. And then poor Tracy thought that her comment was deleted. And I said, no. Let me read this again. Okay, I'm going to go back a little further. Officials said Sarah Wondra maintained that she definitely did not, this is in quotes, this is a quote from her, definitely did not kill that boy, and said the Most High God already told me who did it. She reportedly told police, oh, wow, the Most High God just told me that Stacy was the one who blank him and buried him in the yard of the neighbor's house. I can guess what neighbors she's talking about. When asked later to show police where the boy was, according to the affidavit, she told police of a spot near the entry of her residence and said Stacy had buried him in the backyard by the shed. Police said by that point, they had begun hand digging a portion of the Wondrous yard based on the information received from Stacy, who not had been arrested or charged by Monday afternoon. I don't know, either she's calling herself Stacy or they did talk to Stacy separately. The wording is really weird for me, and I've read it a million times. Then she goes on to talk about a guy named Adrian. Now I hear about this guy named Caesar. I don't know anything about him. I don't want to bring him up too much. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. I just really hope that they get some more headway today. I know that according to their reports on the news, that the news, if you know what I mean, the news, that they said it's a very meticulous, slow process. Just because they have big equipment out there doesn't mean it's a 2-second job, right? We definitely believe that because they've been working since Saturday. Since Saturday. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let me look at a couple of comments. I think Sarah's the one that's high. Now that I think about those fingers and a few comments I saw in here, I'll put that back up for those of you that missed. I can't figure out what the hell's wrong with her hand. Exactly, CR. No, Slim, that's the weird thing. We didn't get trolled by Dawn while Dawn was in jail. So whoever that is, they need to come in and talk about Michael Vaughn. That's what we're talking about. Okay, Dina says it just looks like scabs or really dry skin. How the hell do you get a fungus like that on your hand? You have to wash your hands, presumably, correct? And one of her charges from April, is possession. Let me find it. Hey, UFC, where you been? Let me see if I can try to find the charges from April. Hang on. I'll put those up. All right, Sarah A. Wandra, April 13th. April 13th. So over 6 months. Assault aggravated with deadly weapon. Weapon unlawful possession. Evidence destruction altercation. I really want to know about the evidence destruction, but I don't think it has anything to do with Michael. Controlled substance possession. Shocker. And battery. Now, of course, if you look at her TikTok, which is public, if you look at her Facebook, which is public, she talks a lot about Jesus. Jesus doesn't like assault aggravated with a deadly weapon, Sarah. Jesus doesn't like for you to have possession of weapons when you're not supposed to because you're a felon. Jesus doesn't like you destroying evidence. Jesus doesn't want you to have drugs that hurt you, controlled substances. Jesus doesn't like battery. I really don't want to stare at that picture anymore, but I'm going to have to. Auntie M, that's what I was saying too. Whatever it is, it's very consistent. Gino said deadly weapon doesn't seem Jesus-like. It doesn't to me either. Exactly, sweetest sugar. That's what really irritates the hell out of me. When people make that switch, I don't mean they get saved and they start following Christ. I don't mean that. But like in a situation like this, where it's Jesus, 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 like that, they're overcompensating for something very, very, very bad they've done. I don't want to really take any guesses right now at what it is. UFC, what? You all can read what UFC said. I'm not sure YouTube wants me saying that. UFC is saying it's an infection. It's an infection. UFC, is that your professional opinion? UFC said they do that when they can't find you know what in their arms. Wow. UFC, you were very missed. I think you nailed it, my friend. Why the hell would you pose for a picture like that? Look at her with her chin propped up, with her scabby hand. Why would you do that? Who's a nurse? Who said it's a nurse? I'm a nurse that's infected. Oh, thank you, Barb. Don Wells says God don't like ugly. You're right, Don. And that is one ugly hand. That is disturbing. That is disturbing. Wow. So I guess she's showing off her new ring. I can't remember the context of the post, actually. I don't think that she realized that any true crime people were ever going to get a hold of this picture, though. Because it was texted to me this morning. This is not my catch. Don't give me credit for this. Don't give me credit for this. And yeah, that's disturbing. That is truly disturbing. All right, I've got the link posted if y'all want to come up. If not, I'm going to start shutting this down. I've got a few things I have to get done before the show back at 1 o'clock. We're going to be talking about the murders in Idaho. Another Idaho crime. This is in at the University of Idaho. It's quite a mystery. It's pretty damn disturbing, too. Have you guys heard anything about it? The murders in Idaho? Idaho's a booming place for true crime right now. You have to admit, those reporters in Idaho can't keep up. They're all over the state. You've got the Vallow Daybell, poor little monkey. Now we have the 4 students that were killed at the university. Oh, there's our friend UFC. Haven't seen him a while. We'll catch up real quick. Hey, UFC.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
We missed you. So what are you saying without being too graphic, if you know what I mean?
I'm not going to get into X and X details, but a lot of the times, I mean, it could be wrong. Even if it's a chemical imbalance in your hands, a lot of times it comes with is these guys, they lose track of where they can find the easy entry point. And when the easy entry point is gone, that's why they go into their legs or their hands. And a lot of these times these guys lose their legs, or they have these nasty infections on their legs, is because it's an easy access point for them. But your blood doesn't flow the same way as it does from the other entry points. You understand? So they have you get these nasty buildups around where they're using it. You can look it up. It always happens in the feet, and if you get desperate, they start using your feet. When they use the feet, their feet get these. I mean, they have a chance to lose their legs because these infections get worse and worse. Your body can only handle so much. Let's say so much bacteria in a certain point without it flowing around. You know, as in, like, if you put it in a different point, it flows naturally through the body. Well, if you put it at the end of your body, it's hard for your body to push it out because it's all built up in one spot. And that could be a very, very, I'm not 100% sure, but it's a possibility. That's the issue here, because you can look up people that use their feet, and those people have to go to the hospital for these nasty, nasty bacterial infections in their feet. And they do the same thing, though.
Now that you say that, they have several, well, she does. They have several posts. Well, one is the day before Monkey went missing, where she went to the ER in, let me look, Ontario, Oregon, I believe is what they said. And now, after looking at this picture, and not just you, but several people saying that's an infection, that could be what she kept going to the hospital for.
It could have been very small at first, and then she doesn't clean her hands and stuff, and she starts picking at it too. Remember, it could have been a very small bump, and then she starts picking at it with her dirty fingernails and stuff, and it starts creating more infection, more bacteria buildup. And she doesn't. You have to take care of it the right way, or it only gets worse. It doesn't get better. It's the end of your body. your body just can't just heal itself. And especially if you're using on that side of your body, it's hard. It's hard. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's hard for your body to push the blood through, because that's where the blood ends and it cycles through. So it's cycling that bacteria right through those hands, and same thing with your feet. It's, everything doesn't go up. It goes down usually, and your hands are usually at your hips. You got to remember, that's the ending. You don't put your hands straight in the air and walk around with your hands up all day. You know what I'm saying?
Karma said also, remember, she also has diabetes, and so the smallest thing can cause an infection. But it's
yeah, well, the smallest. See, normally people use it. They usually don't. It's not that bad, but you see the cases that it can cause buildup. Like she's saying, with the diabetes, and it's and a little buildup of bacteria that's not moving around your hand. It just gets stuck in one area and starts a reaction in your body that your body can't heal.
And it's uniform. It's almost exactly the same between each finger.
Yeah, I don't know. You think if it was warts, it costs $20 at Walgreens to get that removed.
Oh, God. Okay.
But she ain't dipping in her drug money for a $20 wart removal. I'll tell you that. Well,
and that's another thing. She's kind of a bigger girl. How is she really is she really using? Usually when you see people that are so addicted, they normally are on the thinner side, if you know.
That's what I was, but yeah, but I've seen big people do it too, though. Like I have a buddy that's 200 pounds, and when I was using, he was using the same amount as me, and that guy can go to sleep after using. Me, I'd be up for a whole day. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Like my buddy's a 200-pound Hawaiian dude, and he never lost weight. He can eat on it. I guess everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? When I put something in my nose, I couldn't eat until that shit was gone out my body. But he would sit there and have Jack in the Box, and then by midnight he'd be sleeping. I'd be looking at him like, dude, how do you do that? I wish I had that ability. But I guess everybody has a different, same with reaction. I don't think that's from exactly that, but I think it's a buildup from something on that factor. Even if it's in your hands, like let's say somehow it gets in between your fingers because you're using a straw. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you don't clean your hands for a couple of days. It could be that too. She made a little cut. I just, it's not normal. That's not normal at all. And it's in every hand, between every finger. So when I used to use I don't want to say the name, but when I used to snort, I would get pock marks on my arms, but that's from itching and shit, and not taking a shower probably for a day or two. So your body, you know what I'm saying? Your body's got you're nasty, you got bacteria all over you, and then you start itching. It could be that too. It could be the itchies. She starts thinking she has bugs and itches between her fingers, and it gets a little cut, and that cut has all bacteria in it. She doesn't clean it out, doesn't take a shower because she's been using it for 2 days, and now it builds up as warts. I mean, that's a very high possibility too.
Well, and talking like that, I know a bigger girl, and she's an addict and hasn't lost any weight. And the only reason I'm saying something about maybe some sort of addiction is because her charges from back in April, and one of them is controlled substance. Well, why does she have it? Is she a dealer, or is she using it? I don't know. She sounds a little out of her mind to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Those hands look nasty though, dude. I wouldn't shake her hand for $1 million.
Oh no, I wouldn't touch that hand. No. No. But I'm wondering if that's why we have all the hospital stays, if you know what I mean.
Well, and that's another thing. You start believing in, like, that's what I'm saying about the bugs. I swear, if you use too much, not even too much, if your body can't process that amount you're using, even it can be the very littlest amount. Like someone said, she had diabetes. If your body can't, like, I can't process it no more. My body starts going in like denial. So I couldn't use it again if I wanted to. If her body's that way, it could be the very littlest amount, and your body starts fucking pushing all the germs out of your body. So she might not even be using her hands. It's just pushing every time she uses, it's a chemical imbalance in her body, which pushes everything out. And her exit point is her hands. Mine might be my arms. Hers is in between her hands, and that's nasty, dude. That's probably a high possibility what it is. She's probably not using her veins there. It's probably the chemical imbalance, and it's pushing all the germs out of one area. And you don't throw them up, it comes out somewhere. Like some people, it's your legs, it's your feet. Hers can be between her knuckles, and it's a lot of chemical imbalance going in your body, especially if you're allergic to something they're putting in the drugs.
Paula said, for some reason, I just don't think they are junkies. Well, no, I don't think they are either, because they have all these different businesses and stuff. I mean, we have a laundry business, we have a taxi business. She said, I don't think they're junkies, probably, maybe pot. That was probably the controlled substance. Like,
Is pot a controlled substance though? I thought it would just be like a class B or whatever drug they call it. I'm not sure. I know it's not legal there, but a controlled substance could be like wax though, like marijuana wax or a vape pen. Now that's a controlled substance. The marijuana for alone, I don't think it is, but I could be wrong in that state. But where I'm from, and even in Arizona, before it was a controlled substance, wasn't just the bud, it was the wax or the wax pen.
I don't know about.
Me either.
I'm
just
in Idaho.
And I guess, guys, I'm not saying it's 100% what I'm saying, but if you do use and your body can't control it, it pushes out chemical imbalance in different places in your body. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, that's a possibility. Don't think that there's 100 options it could be. I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a nurse, but everybody has their opinion here, and I believe that it could be just a regular skin infection, but I don't know. If it was that bad and I had a skin infection, I'd be at the doctor's or at Walgreens taking care of it ASAP. Especially where everybody can see it.
Well, and the thing is, I mean, she poses for that picture. She had to know that's between her hands. So to me, you're posing for a picture. She's used to it being that way. It's kind of like everyday life, because she's not thinking anything about that hand being photographed. To me, it's really weird. Really weird. So it's something that she's used to, because she doesn't think anything about it being in a photo.
Yeah, because when you first have something like that, or you get a tattoo, let's say you get a tattoo, every person takes a picture with the tattoo showing whatever arm it's.
What's the tattoo?
No, I'm just making a hint. Like, so if you had that on your hand and it was the first day, you wouldn't show that in the picture. But over time, it evolves to be an everyday thing, so you're not scared to show it. If she just had those like yesterday, she wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? The hand would be like behind her back or something. You guys ever see that? How, like, I don't want to say woman, but anybody, they get a fresh tattoo or they have something put on them or something. They make sure they show it in the picture. Well, if I had a wart on my face, I would have the angle on the other side if it just happened. You get what I'm saying? But then after 3 or 4 months, I'd be like, everybody already knows you have it, so you're not scared to show it. You understand? Yeah, so those have been there for a long time. That was my point. Like, I'm not saying she has tattoos, but this the point being, like, when the first couple of months, you would make sure to avoid it. After that, you're like, who cares? Everybody knows I got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and try to angle the camera and so on.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's so much about everybody knows I've got it. It's she's so used to it, because it's like she's modeling a ring. I'm not going to put the picture back up. She's modeling a ring, and she's just so used to her hand being like that, she doesn't even think about it.
Yep, that's it. That's 100%. Just like as I was pointing about the tattoo. When you get a tattoo, you show it off every time, and then you stop showing it off because you eventually, it's old now.
Or like, you have, a tattoo you mean to do to yourself. So I'm thinking about something like, say you get stitches and you've got an ugly scar. After a while, you're just so used to seeing it, you don't think anything about it. You're not self-conscious. She's not self-conscious about it. That's what I'm trying to say. She's
100%. Yeah, like everybody knows it already. Everybody knows it. Who cares? It's a normal to me. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
She's just not self-conscious about it for some reason. All right, my friend. Well, I'm glad you grabbed the link. We were worried about you. We were about to send a search party.
Man, trust me, it's been a rough 3 days, but God has plans for me and everybody else in here. So, if you're feeling down and going down, just keep your head up, keep moving. I'm on my way back to the Bay Area, and we're gonna, we're moving on with life. That's how it goes.
All right, we'll be back for the next show. Okay.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all. Take care.
That was so awesome. We got to catch up with UFC. We haven't seen him. He started coming on panel for the Kylie Rodney case, and he was coming on quite frequently. He was on a couple of times for Quentin. I don't know if any other shows he's popped on for, but I'm really excited we got to see him. I'm really glad. So that was awesome. We got to catch up with UFC. Got to get caught up on the case, which the catch up on the case right now is that they're still in the backyard. They said it could take the rest of the week. Don't be surprised, because of the way these things go, if it doesn't go into next week, and then they're going to start on the house. I just truly, truly believe that they've got something way more solid than her goofy ass saying anything. I think or Stacy, I really think they've got something a lot more concrete. Thank you, Mary Australia. You are awesome. You are awesome. All of you guys are so incredible. I know. That's why on the members tab I said something yesterday. These cases aren't easy to talk about by any means. We never we're not swapping recipes here. We're not talking about who makes the best brownies. So never when you get a notification, whether it's the regular scheduled show, which is every morning, or we pop in for something, it's never good news. Sometimes we'll say it's good news. Oh, good news, there's finally a break in the case. But we know that on the back end of it, all of it, is a horrific situation and people you would never want to trade places with. And we also know we're talking about the worst that society has to offer. We do. These are freaking heinous ass people. They're disgusting. I understand a few people are upset that I keep saying they're disgusting. They are. They're disgusting. This could take time. Good point, Jesse. Took almost 6 years to get any charges and find somebody. I say find somebody. He was in plain sight. Richard Allen. There's a lot going on in that case too, so we got to catch up with Delphi soon. We have a lot going on. But you're right, Jesse. Took almost 6 years for Abby and Libby. This could take some time. And that's all right. That's all right. We just hang in there together. All right, Jessica, I will check my email in a little bit. I have a few things I have to do. So we'll be back here at 1 o'clock Central Time. You guys hit those reminders. You hit them. Mods, thank you very much. I know we had a couple of hiccups in here today. You guys are the mod squad. You guys are the best. You're the best on YouTube for sure. You guys are the absolute best. Again, come back here at 1 o'clock. We also have some new members. Don't forget, we have members lives that you do not want to miss. And check the members tab on the YouTube channel. I'll see you guys back here in a couple of hours. Bye-bye.